2023 was a great year for video game players specifically. There were many incredible releases, and I didn't get to play all of them, but I did play a few. And I have an opinion. So these are my top 6 games of 2023. Before we dive into the list, hi, my name's camillapanda. If you're just finding this corner of the internet for the first time, I really like video games. I'm an esports caster, and I have 2 cats that really enjoy being part of the streams and videos, as you can see. But more importantly, we have a top 6 video games of the year that I think were superb. And in case you're wondering, Camilla, why is it 6? I couldn't choose between 6 of them. They were all that good. Now, there also is an additional one that was the community choice, which was a game that didn't come out in 2023, but that's just because we played a lot of it and y'all in Discord voted for it out of all the games we had played. Anyways, on to our first game. So the first game shouldn't be too much of a surprise, especially since I played through the whole game on stream, which is a rarity. And that game was the Dead Space remake. This launched last January as one of the most highly anticipated remakes, and it delivered. And honestly, it set the standard for horror games moving forward. From graphical to audio updates, this game was incredibly enjoyable and made the game significantly more accessible to a wider audience. The one thing I kept commenting every time someone asked me about the game was specifically just the fact that it was more accessible to folks who was unable to continue the game previously, especially that little warning label that popped up for certain scenes. And this game stayed in my top 5 year-round. Additionally, they did add more to the story and just broaden the story enough that made me want more. So while you may have adventured on the USG Ishimura before, taking another dive will be absolutely worth your time with more lore and more story about the cult and everything going on. And while the ending changed slightly from the original, I thought it added more impact and added to the experience. So if you haven't played this game, you can find it on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox. The second game on our list is entirely different from the first game, and I really wish I played this series sooner. I oddly fell in love with Pikmin 4 this year. I loved the puzzles and general story of the game, and I thought it made it wonderful to play. In this game, you are tasked with rescuing Captain Olimar and the rest of the rescue squad. You meet Ochi, Captain Shepard's dog, and they end up helping you through all of the different maps so that way you can find your rescue mates, Captain Olimar, and a few other things along the way. It was a really chill game and overall just incredibly enjoyable. I loved looking for all the different items in the game along with the different ways you could fight the different bosses. Plus, I really enjoyed Dandori battles. I don't know why, I just really love the Dandori battles. And if you're interested in picking this game up, it's a Nintendo's exclusive. Okay, our next game is also a Nintendo exclusive, but it was so worth every dollar. And it's another remake. This also happens to be one of the very few Mario games I've ever played. Super Mario RPG was a delightful crossover between Nintendo and Square Enix, and I immensely enjoyed my time playing it. In this game, you're trying to repair the Star Road while defeating the Smithy Gang. You team up with and meet some unexpected and quirky characters. I thought the graphics were stunning, especially seeing it was a Nintendo Switch title, and it being kind of an older system at this point. And I found myself laughing a lot at this game. It was fun seeing Bowser in a very different light, besides being introduced to Geno, who I thought was wonderful, and my 2 new favorite Mario characters. We have Mallow, delightful little cloud that thought he was a frog, and the Chonky Koopa. Our 4th game on this list is free to play and is technically still in beta, but oh so much fun. Plus it's perfect for curling up with just a cup of tea after a long day or when it's really rainy or snowy. And we're talking about Palia. One of the big things that drew me to this game is, yes, it's an MMO. There is no fighting in it, so it's really a chill, cozy, casual game. But the fact that the community is super focused on kindness and helping each other out. In this game from Singularity 6, you wake up in this world where humans have been long gone. with beautiful landscapes to explore. You can hunt, fish, build up a home, a farm, all kinds of different stuff while unearthing what happened to the humans. And as I said before, this game has no combat, but you can play with other people if you wish on the servers or kind of play more on your own. I believe this game is rated E10. I'll double check and put it in the comments, but it is free to play on PC and Nintendo Switch. However, there are in-game cosmetic purchases. Now, our fifth game in our top 6, because I truly couldn't decide, is Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story. Now, you can see my first look video on this channel since I got access to it early, but this game had me crying at the end of the story. It was so good. Oh my goodness, it brought my little League of Legends heart out and made me so happy to see that they're expanding upon the champions with their backstories and making you feel super attached to the different characters. So without giving any of the story away, you play as Nunu and Willem, who are champion in League of Legends. They come together, it's very adorable. That game is rated E10 and up, and it is a platformer. So if you like platformers, you're really going to enjoy this game. And before we get to the final game on this list, it's time for our community choice. While it didn't release in 2023, we did have an actual blast playing Powerwash Simulator all year. This game surprised us with quite the storyline and side stories that were happening if you just read the text messages from your clients. Plus, it was a great game just to relax and unwind with. From cat conspiracy theories to ancient aliens, there was a lot going on in this game for being so completely chill. And they had a lot of really interesting collaborations with their downloadable content, from SpongeBob to Back to the Future, and I know Warhammer 40K is going to be a collaboration this year. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that story is going to unfold, since they did a great job making a whole storyline for each of the downloadable content that makes it work. And I'm sure they're gonna have plenty of other surprise collaborations this year because this game is still really popular. And we may have finally hit the end of this list. And there's one game that I'm sure folks who have hung out on my Twitch stream are going, why hasn't she talked about that one yet? Yeah, it's because I decided to save it for the end. And it really, truly is not one bit of surprise. It's Baldur's Gate 3. What made me fall in love with this game is the fact that it is so story-rich, like my favorite games, Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasies. Character development, the overall theming of the world, the fact that I can go off trying to get a dress as my main quest for the day and spend 3 hours side questing because I just really wanted to get the dress, and then ended up on a side quest and then didn't like how that ended and then went back, and then you get the point. Plus the customization of the characters, like I didn't fully dive in. I knew it was going to be a problem and turn into its own stream, so I just sat there and I limited myself quite a bit so I could try to get through the character part of it. And the fact that this game has a lot of meme ability and like joke potential. Yeah, there's a reason this game's getting an award after an award after an award after an award, and kind of just collecting all the gaming awards they possibly can. So the story starts off that you are waking up in a Mind Flayer ship and you are trying to escape, and once it crashes, the world's your oyster. You can just kind of do what you want. You could be good, you could be bad, you could just be chaotic. It's wonderful. And your choices significantly impact the rest of the game. There's characters you may not get to meet because, uh-oh, you raided the wrong camp. Or there's characters you do get to meet multiple times, and you're gonna regret it later down the line because now they have a grudge against you. Talking about the hag. And while I don't particularly care for romancing anything in games, it's not usually my thing, it was very well done in this game, to the point that I did actually enjoy romancing a character. And they do utilize 5e rules, so I feel like this is a good step if you're trying to learn Dungeons and Dragons, just to kind of understand a little bit of the mechanics. You'll still need a little bit of explanation if you're like me, but it was a good foot in the door for Dungeons and Dragons in my opinion. And if you can't quite meet with your friend group to get your dice rolling fix in, it's great for that too. Though the nat ones always hit at the most comedic of times.
Please don't nat one. Oh, no!
I know I missed out on games like Spider-Man 2, Tears of the Kingdom, a bunch of other games, but I only had so many hours during the day. And this is the chance for you to tell me what games based on my top 6 you think I should play that I missed last year in the comments below. Or just tell me your favorite game that came out last year. That'd be pretty cool too. So if you want to see more of me, like, subscribe, hit all those magic buttons, and thank you for hanging out to the end of the video. See you next time. Bye.